If you've ever stood in the grocery store trying to make healthier choices, you're not alone. Most of us have. We read the labels, we buy the products with words like heart healthy, whole grain, low fat, and all natural. We genuinely believe we're doing the right thing. But what if I told you the biggest lie we've been told about healthy eating isn't about one specific food? It's about who we've trusted to tell us what healthy actually means. For decades, we've been told to fear foods our grandparents ate without thinking twice. Eggs, butter, steak, bacon, full-fat dairy. Meanwhile, grocery store shelves have filled up with products made in factories that proudly advertise themselves as healthy simply because someone printed it on the package. That should make all of us stop and think. Because despite having more nutrition information than ever before, America is getting sicker. Obesity continues to climb. Type 2 diabetes has exploded. More people struggle with chronic inflammation, joint pain, fatty liver disease, and metabolic problems than at any point in history. If all this advice was working, shouldn't we be getting healthier instead of heavier? I know this subject can be controversial because I used to believe exactly what everyone else believed. After I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I became much more serious about my health. Like most people, I wanted to do everything right. I read articles. I listened to experts. I tried eating the foods I was told were healthy. But something didn't add up. I was still overweight. I was still hungry all the time. And I had inflammation that reminded me every single day something wasn't right. The worst was my right hand. It hurt so often that I almost accepted it as normal. Have you ever done that? Lived with a little pain for so long that it just became part of life? That's where I was. Then something happened that completely changed the way I look at food. Instead of asking, what foods have the healthiest labels? I started asking, what foods have people been eating for thousands of years? That's a very different question. Instead of reaching for boxes, I started reaching for real food. Steak, eggs, butter, bacon, chicken, fish, ground beef, vegetables, foods with ingredients that don't need an ingredient list. I'll be honest, at first it felt wrong. After years of hearing that saturated fat was dangerous and cholesterol was something to fear, eating a breakfast with eggs and bacon almost felt like I was breaking the rules. But here's what surprised me. I wasn't hungry 2 hours later. I wasn't looking for snacks all afternoon. My energy became more consistent. The constant cravings started fading. And then something happened that I didn't even notice right away. One day I realized my right hand didn't hurt anymore. That's the funny thing about pain. When you're living with it every day, it's obvious. When it's gone, sometimes you don't even notice until weeks later. I sat there thinking, wait a minute, my hand hasn't been hurting. That inflammation I'd been carrying around had quietly disappeared. Nobody promised me that would happen. I wasn't expecting it. It simply happened after I stopped living on processed foods that were marketed as healthy and started eating real food instead. Now let's take a walk through a grocery store together. When you first walk in, where are the healthiest foods? The meat department, the eggs, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, seafood. Most of these foods don't need a commercial. They don't have cartoon characters on the package. They don't have health claims screaming at you from every angle. Now walk into the middle aisles. Suddenly everything is high protein, heart healthy, whole grain, low fat, light, smart choice. Why? Because processed food has to be sold. Real food doesn't. Think about that. When was the last time you saw a steak with a giant label saying, now healthier than ever? Or eggs advertising that they're made with real eggs? It sounds ridiculous because it is. Real food doesn't need a marketing department. The companies making ultra-processed foods spend billions convincing us their products are healthy. And many of us believe them because we want to make good choices. Here's another question. If low-fat products were the answer, why did obesity continue climbing during the decades when low-fat became the national obsession? People replaced fat with sugar. Manufacturers removed fat because consumers were told fat was bad. But when you remove fat, food tastes terrible. So what do they add? Sugar, starches, artificial flavors, modified ingredients. Suddenly your healthy yogurt has more sugar than dessert. Your breakfast cereal is basically candy with vitamins sprinkled on top. Your snack bars contain a paragraph of ingredients nobody can pronounce. Yet they're sitting on the shelf with smiling people running through fields because the packaging tells us they're healthy. Here's something I wish someone had told me years ago. Being hungry all the time is not normal. If you eat breakfast and you're already looking for a snack before lunch, your body is trying to tell you something. Real food satisfies you differently. Protein satisfies you. Healthy fats satisfy you. When I switched the way I ate, something remarkable happened. Food stopped controlling my day. I wasn't constantly wondering when I could eat next. I wasn't counting the minutes until lunch. I wasn't standing in front of the pantry looking for something to snack on. That's freedom. And I believe that's what so many people are really looking for. Not another diet, not another calorie-counting app, not another list of forbidden foods. They want freedom from always thinking about food. One of the biggest myths we've accepted is that healthy eating has to feel like suffering. You're supposed to be hungry. You're supposed to miss the foods you love. You're supposed to rely on willpower forever. I don't believe that anymore. If your eating plan makes you miserable, you'll eventually quit. Every time. That's not failure. That's human nature. The best eating plan is one you can enjoy for the rest of your life. For me, that meant eating real food. Not perfect food. Real food. I still enjoy a good steak. I still eat eggs. I still cook with butter. I don't fear bacon. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. I don't miss the processed foods nearly as much as I thought I would. Once your taste buds adjust, real food actually tastes better. Could I eat a donut? Sure. Could I eat a bowl of sugary cereal? Absolutely. But I know how I feel afterward. I'd rather feel good than chase a few minutes of pleasure. That's a trade I'm happy to make. Now, I'm not telling you to blindly follow me. I'm telling you to start asking better questions. Who benefits when you buy processed foods labeled healthy? Who profits from keeping you confused? Who spends billions advertising products that your grandparents wouldn't even recognize as food? Those questions matter. Because the more you ask them, the easier it becomes to see through the marketing. Healthy eating shouldn't require a chemistry degree. If your great-grandparents would recognize it as food, you're probably on the right track. If it comes with a paragraph of ingredients and multiple health claims printed across the front of the package, maybe it's worth asking why. Changing the way I eat didn't just help me lose weight. It changed the way I think. It helped reduce inflammation. It gave me more consistent energy. It helped me stop obsessing about my next meal. And most importantly, it showed me that the biggest obstacle wasn't my lack of willpower. It was believing the wrong story about food. That's the biggest lie we've been told. Not that one food is magical, not that one food is evil, but that real food somehow became the enemy while factory-made products became the heroes. I don't believe that anymore. If you're tired of being hungry all the time, tired of chasing the next diet, and tired of wondering why eating healthy hasn't been working, maybe it's time to question the advice we've all been given. That's exactly why I created the 4-Phase Freedom Protocol. It's not another diet. It's a simple framework built around eating real food, reducing cravings, lowering inflammation, and making healthy eating something you can actually enjoy for the rest of your life. If you'd like to learn more, I've put a link in the description below. And if this video made you think differently about food, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's been trying to eat healthy but still isn't getting the results they're looking for. Sometimes changing your health doesn't start with changing your food. Sometimes it starts with changing what you believe.